everyone, and thank you for purchasing the Links with Hovering Image Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed it yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package, and you also have access to a PDF with instructions. So to get started, head over to your theme editor, navigate to the page you want to add the section to. Over on the left, click on Add Section, and search for the section you want to add, Links Hovering Images. So now we have here blocks that each one represents a different link. Right now, as you can see, there's an empty tooltip or hovering image. So let's add some content in here. So let's put in for some clothing, active wear for men. And we can search for this image here. We have an option to make this linkable as well, so that if you click on the link itself, it can go to a collection or something like that. You can also just leave it blank. And you have an option to add in a video instead. We can do that on this next one here. So here we can put in unique outfits for women. Oops. Select video. Got something like that. As you can see here, we're already getting a preview of how it looks. And then we can put in one more. Beautiful sunglasses. And let's add in an image. All right, so we have all three are showing up. Now, once we added all the content, we can click over here on the main section, and we can start adding in all of the different settings and titles and etc. So over here, we have the first thing, we have a section title, which is right over here. It's obviously optional, you can remove it. So I assume that it could probably look nice without it, but if you want to put in something, then go right ahead. Don't forget that for section titles, we have default set for H2, but you can choose any one of these. It's good for two, there are two benefits for being able to choose the H2s, the H heading styles. One is for SEO because search engines rank headlines by importance. And so you can say, hey, this is a very important headline. So you would set it up as heading 1. But usually you're recommended only one H1, heading 1 on a page. And that's usually reserved for the page title. So for sections, we recommend using H2, but of course you can use any of them. Another benefit is that if you set this up, it'll inherit your theme's preset styling that already set up for H2. So if I, for instance, change this to H3, then you see the size already changes automatically because that's what's set up in my theme. So we can leave that, but let's just get rid of the title for now. Next, we have inside or outside wrapper. Actually, this is if we add a background color, then we have an option to put this. For instance, here we'll add in a background color. You see this is within it, and then you can choose to have it outside, just like that. And it only works though when you're set to regular width. If you go to full width, then it has to be included. But let's get rid of that for now. Next, section image. So we can put an image to the left if we'd like. Let's just put in this image for now, just so you could see. You can have an image appear there, and then the links would be right next to it. We can remove that for now. Maybe we'll add it in a little bit later. Next, we have the section width, as I showed you before. So regular, you could see that it's set up to a regular width, and you can adjust that width with this content max width range. If we set this up for full width, then this content max width still limits the width of the content itself, but the background is extended to the very edges. And if we set up real full width, then everything extends to the very edges. And so maximum width, content max width doesn't apply. Then we can add in some padding. As you can see, it's touching here, and so we want a little bit of space, so we can adjust that as well. Let's put this at, we'll remove the real full width. We'll give this a little bit more width, like that. Okay. So you see, we did set up a background color, but we also have an option to set up a gradient. And so you can go into here with Shopify's gradient selector, and you can choose a gradient if you'd like. I'll just keep the background color for now. Margin, section margin, top, bottom. Margins is the distance above and below the section itself. So if we want more space, we above between each section, above and below, we can definitely do that. And then padding horizontal, that's the padding is the space within the section. So as you can see, it's right now set to 0. And what we had here before, we had real full width, so we can add in a little bit of padding, and then you see we can give it some more space, like that. We can also add in more padding to the top and padding to the bottom, like so. Border radius, we can add a radius to the border, to the corners, but when it's full width, there's no real need for that, so that would only work when it's in regular. You could see we could do something like that. Let's keep this for now. Padding horizontal, let's add in a little bit more padding so we have it more centered. Okay. Next, we also have section styling for mobile. So the margins and the padding, all for the mobile view. So for a mobile view like this, we can add in more margin top and bottom. We can add more padding like so, and border radius like that. Next, section title styling. So when we had a title up here, let's just put this back just so you can see. We have an option to set its alignment to wherever we want, change its color, set its font. So you can use a custom font if you want a different font than what your theme or what the default is. You can select the title, the font from the list that Shopify provides, or you can, if you have a manually installed font that's not in this list, you can add the CSS here. A little bit for more advanced users, but you have this option. Get rid of that for now. Next, we can set a font weight. So as you can see, the default on my theme is bold, but if we want it to be regular weight, then we have that option to do so. And we have here as well margin top, margin bottom. So if we do margin bottom, we can add more space below here. We can adjust the font size. If it's at 0, it's defaulting to the theme's font size for that H2 or H3 or whatever we chose. And then font size here, we can select to have a bigger font size for the title. Line height, not as relevant unless you have a really long title, and it goes down to 2 lines, so you can adjust the space between each line. And then you have letter spacing here as well. And then you have the same settings for the mobile version right over here. Section image styling. So let's add that image back in here. We'll just add in a random image just for now, just so you can see the what you can do. Here we go. So we can select that the image dimensions are original, or you can do landscape. Obviously, you don't see a difference because the original image is a landscape. but you can crop it to be square, a square image, and you see automatic cropping is occurring. Or you can set a portrait, and you're going to get more cropping to the sides because we're getting an image, a portrait image that needs to fill up this width, and then it takes a proportion to make it portrait. We can select for the image to be on the right or on the left. And on mobile view, since the image is not to the right or the left, because then we won't have any room, you can select to have it above or below the text, or you can also set it to be hidden. Next, section image width. So right now the default is 50. We can make it much smaller if we want. Something like that. We can make it much bigger, however we choose. We can give the image some radiuses in the corner, round the corners out. Same thing on the mobile, we can round the corners out. We can add more margin between the image and the text, more space like that. And we can add more space, obviously, above or below on mobile view. Next, link styling. So we have the different links right over there. We can add a link separator, which could be, if we want to have something appear in between each link, we can do, something like this. We can do a dash, you can do a comma, whatever you'd like. Whatever character you feel, you can even do a smiley, whatever. You can keep that blank for now. You can add an underline to the link to make it a little bit clearer. You can also have the link open a new tab if you want it to go, let's say, to a different site, or you want, a new tab to open. You can set that up, and you can add more margins in between each link. Now here, you probably notice the words are breaking. So we have this option for text wrapping. So we can add a line break between letters. So it'll break up the letters, or you can do between words. So if we lower this down, we have kind of, it's a little bit of play depending on the font size and the amount of space we have here. But between words, then if this link, I just noticed we have a little typo here. Here, if you choose link stacked, you notice that it looks basically the same between words, sorry. But once we start playing around with adjusting the font size, you'll see the difference. Next, we can set the link color. We can set a link color for hover. So let's say we want it to be this red. So when we hover over, the color changes. We can choose a custom font. Let's go for something like this, maybe. Here we can adjust the font size. So we could do something like that. And as you can see now, the words are breaking and not the letters. So if we go back, let's add some line height just so it'll be a little bit clear like that. So if we set up letters and something like this, and if we set up words, then it breaks up the words. And if we do stacked, then it's basic. It usually comes out to be the same. It really does depend. But stacked, in this case, it looks the same. Let's do letters for now. All right. We can make it. All right. Next, we have the same settings for mobile. So if we go into mobile view, then we can adjust the font size like that. Line height, maybe it's a little bit too much, so we can make it a little bit more scrunched like that. And we can add in letter spacing as well. however we'd want. Next, so we have the tooltip styling. So when we hover over and we get this image. So it's going to be difficult to set this up when every time you have to hover over. So we added this option for preview tooltip, and then you get this preview here, and now you can adjust it. So background color, let's make this, let's say black, or actually let's make it red so we can see the difference more. We can make the tooltip much bigger. So this is in pixels, we can do it 600, for instance. On mobile view, we actually have it set to percentages. So you can have it go all the way 100% width of the mobile view, or you can make them much smaller. And on mobile, obviously you don't have hover, so it's basically when you tap on the text, then it appears. Next, we have padding, so we can basically increase this border here that we see. Make that bigger. We can add radius to the corners. All right, and as you can see, it's also adjusting for the image as well, for the image and the corner as well. And we have padding for mobile and the radius for the mobile view as well. Next, we have an option for drop shadow. So if you notice, there's a slight hue underneath a slight shadow. And if we make this, let's say blue, and we increase the opacity, then you can see it much better now. You can adjust the spread of it so it'll be smaller, or you can just turn it off, just like that. Go black again. There we go. And those are all the settings. So once we're done with that, we set the preview tooltip, and then we have the section as we wanted. When you're hovering over, you can see the image, or you could see the video, and impress your customers and give them information before they click the link to go to the page you want them to go to. So that's it. Hope you enjoy this section. If you have any issues, any problems, or any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page on our website. Have a great day.